Hi there, I'm coming to you from the forest today. I asked on Instagram for you to send me questions and now I'm going to answer them. Thanks for everyone who sent me questions. They're really good and some of them really difficult, but I'll give it my best shot. There's a lot of bugs flying around me, but that's fine. So a couple of people were asking about how I schedule my days as a freelancer. Seagulls. To be honest, I'm pretty bad at scheduling my work, which I was hoping to, because I've been freelancing now for 6 months already. I was hoping I would have gotten a bit better at it, but to be honest, I'm not much of a planner naturally, but I try. Every now and then I try. I make weekly schedules for myself, and that does really help. And especially if I have to keep track of like several projects, that's really helpful. But I'm not the best at following them all the time. I'm kind of an impulsive person, so I tend to kind of work on what I'm most interested at that time, or of course if there's some like pressing matters, I'll work on those first. But it's definitely something I would like to get better at. But I would suggest, oh my god, there's so many flies here, ugh, or like mosquitoes, so even worse. The things I would suggest are weekly schedules. I make kind of like a timetable like you would have at school with like 2-hour slots or something, and I write in what I'm supposed to work on for those 2 hours, and I also try and schedule breaks for myself because I'm terrible at taking breaks, and especially because I draw and the rest of the time I'm on the computer. It's super important to have breaks for like stretching and moving around, so I try to do that. And one way to make sure you do it is to actually use this technique called Pomodoro, which there are like several apps for it. I even have one. I don't use it all the time, but when I do I feel really good about it, so I should. But the thing with this Pomodoro technique is that it's like a timer, and for 25 minutes, like you switch it on, and for 25 minutes you work, and then it alerts you after 25 minutes, and then you have a 5-minute break, which is like great for, I don't know, going to the bathroom or stretching out your legs and your shoulders and arms and whatever, or just like having a look on Facebook or Instagram or something. It's really good because for those 25 minutes, they go by real fast, and because you kind of have this app, you're not so tempted to just start scrolling Instagram or something and getting distracted from your work. So that's been really great, but yeah, like I said, I'm not the best at using that, even though I should. But also if you have like longer projects, I would suggest making monthly schedules as well, like making like a grid with the dates and stuff, and writing down your deadlines or whatever when you want to be working on what. So that would also be very helpful, I'm sure. But like I said, I'm not the best at it myself. I'm still learning. Okay, so Federica Rubiowank asks, I love your artwork. Where did you learn to draw/paint? First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I'm self-taught in drawing, and it's something I touched on this in my last Q&A, but I'll just give a quick recap. I've been drawing since I was like really young. It used to be my favorite thing to do as a child. So really, I've just taught myself how to do it. But as for painting, I only started painting with watercolor like last year, at the beginning of last year. So for that, I actually watched a lot of YouTube, well, not tutorials, but like painting videos on YouTube, and that was like super helpful because I had no idea about the technique. and it made learning watercolors like so much easier. A medium or technique I really suggest looking on YouTube or like Skillshare or somewhere for videos showing how to do that, because that is so helpful. 10 Onder asks a few questions. What are the things you'd still like to learn? There's so many things I like to learn. First of all, I should probably answer scheduling properly. But as for art, definitely painting like scenery or like full like illustrations with backgrounds and like rooms and all of this, like just having some depth in the illustration, that some things are in the foreground, some things are in the background. That would be really cool. And also like different situations and different poses. Like I would like to just broaden my my subject matter as well. So, but like short answers, backgrounds, and like full scenes. When did you find your specific style of drawing? This is something I also answered more in depth in my last Q&A video, but again, to kind of give a short answer, it just came with drawing a lot, and style is something that I feel like is constantly changing and like evolving, and when I look back on my work I can see like there haven't been like major changes like in a short amount of time, but slowly it has like little things change, and then it kind of like changes the whole thing little by little, kind of. But I would say it's just come from drawing a lot, and also looking at other artists' work and seeing what I like about their art, and kind of trying to incorporate those elements but in my own way into my illustrations, if that makes sense. Did you have a New Year's resolution, and if so, which one were you able to live up to so far? I didn't have any art-related New Year's resolutions, but my resolution was to take better care of myself physically, because last year, as some of you know, I was struggling a lot with my wrist, like with my drawing hand and my arm in general, and I went to physiotherapy, and I still do physiotherapy like at home. Some back moves, because it's an issue with my back mostly, not even like from straining my wrist, which I mean that is a problem, but it's a complicated system. The body is a complicated system, and everything, you know, everything affects everything, so my back has been a big concern. I have been doing okay. I mean, I've been doing physio somewhat and some yoga, but just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I actually started going to the gym, and I've been really liking that, and I'm like super excited about it and so happy. And I specifically asked my personal trainer for a that we could target, you know, these muscles that support me when I'm like sitting and drawing and stuff. So I'm doing a lot of back muscles and like some core stuff that will, you know, help me stay healthy with the work that I do. So I'm super happy about that, and really hope to keep going with it. And just to clarify, I don't actually have a personal trainer because I can't afford that, but the first one, like this first initial meeting with a personal trainer, was like free of charge when I took up this gym membership, so it was like this initial thing. But maybe like somewhere down the line, when I feel kind of confident with the routine that I'm doing now, I might take like single personal trainer meetings, lessons, whatever, every now and then to kind of give me something new to work with. But yeah, I can't afford to train with a personal trainer. I just thought I would clear that up. Okay, then Enliten Kokta is asking, what is something you want to do but you are scared of doing? I feel like there are a lot of things I could say, for this to live abroad. Although I'm not so sure it's about being scared about it. I mean, I am scared and like worried about it, but I think it's also about the right timing. But I really want to move to Berlin. That's been like my dream for the past, I don't know, like at least 5 years, but even before that, I think. I'm going to Berlin this summer with my partner Ollie, and I'm gonna be like checking out the city because I haven't been in a few years. So I hope I still feel like I want to live there, and if I do, I am kind of planning that maybe like within the next 5 years I could live there for some time. I don't know, or do like a residency, or maybe live for a year or something. But it's something I've always wanted to do, live abroad, and Berlin just seems like a fairly easy place to do that. It's quite cheap to live in, food is cheap-ish, and the rent is like okay, like way cheaper than here, so and I just love the city. It's so full of life and culture and everything, so maybe that could be something. If you had to choose, would you rather draw fruit, clouds, or dogs for the rest of your life? Oh my god, this is this is a really fun question, but also like how do I choose? I think I would say dogs, because right now I draw mostly people, as you know, and I feel like dogs are, of these three things, dogs are the closest to people, and I could kind of, I feel like I could work the most with them and like draw a bunch of different dogs, and they could be doing a bunch of stuff, and it wouldn't be that different even from drawing people, so I think dogs. Also, I obviously love dogs. Also, what did you want to be when you were 10? I feel like at that time I would have wanted to be a princess, or maybe like a singer, is what I mean. Yeah. I feel like singer slash princess was my jam. What is your favorite tree? Okay, I'm gonna have to Google this because I don't know the word in English. Tuomi in Finnish. Bird cherry. Bird cherry. I love this tree, but it's also a tiny bit scary. I mean, okay, let's back up. I love this tree because it blooms in these white flowers, and they smell heavenly. It's amazing. But then after it has bloomed, the branches are filled with this weird web, and they're full of these little worms, like insect worms, and it's so disgusting and spooky. But I don't know, I think it's also really cool. Mostly it's my favorite tree because of the scent of the flowers, not the spooky worms. But also, I like that it has many sides to it. It's not just pretty, it has like an evil side. Oh my god. Faye Numer asks, what's your experience with Tictail as a selling platform, especially in relation to fairness to the seller regarding commission, hidden costs, etc.? Yeah, this is a good question. I like touched on this, I think, in my previous Q&A when I talked about starting your online store, but my experience with Tictail, yes, I've been pretty happy with it. Most online like e-commerce platforms, they take some form of commission or a monthly fee, and Tictail has no monthly fee, but it takes a commission out of every order. So far for me, it's been okay. I don't sell that much through my online shop that it would make sense for me to, that it would hurt my business too much. Like, I don't pay Tictail very much monthly, so it's been really good so far, but I am considering actually moving my shop to my own website, because I have a website with my own domain, so it would be kind of convenient to have the shop there as well. And then I'm already paying for this plan that includes the e-commerce because it was cheaper than what I was paying without it. So I'm in the process of moving my shop there, just because it would basically be almost free at this point, and there are no fees then, except for like PayPal and accepting the for the payment options. That's also one thing to consider. Like on Tictail, they have their own commission, but then also most people pay, I find, with PayPal, or I think they also accept Stripe, which is like card payments. So Stripe as well as PayPal also have their fees that they take from the every transaction. So I suggest kind of calculating how much that means. I have this huge Excel table with all my products. So in this Excel file, I start with the price that I ask for the product. Then I have the price it takes for me to produce it, the VAT, because I run a business, so my prices have VAT in it. Then I have the Tictail fees. So for every product, I see how much I actually earn from it. Like after taking all of these costs out from the price that I have in my in my shop for that product, if that makes sense. So I mean, it adds up to a lot, especially because I have the VAT. But I would definitely do my research on the different platforms before like deciding on one. Tictail, I feel, is cheaper than Etsy, but if you're selling like relatively little monthly, I think it's a really good choice. But maybe if you're selling like a lot, it might make sense to have a shop at one of these other e-commerce platforms that only have a monthly fee and no like commission or like any percentage of the sales. So that's my advice. Hales M asks, what are your favorite colors? I would say yellow is my favorite color. Lately I've been like super into primary colors, which you might have noticed from my recent illustrations. They've been like pretty colorful. But I feel like yellow and blue and red are my current favorite colors. Where do you draw inspo from? I mean, I thought about this a lot, and I feel like my big inspiration is like introversion. I feel like I draw a lot of these kind of lonely girls surrounded by plants. Like that's my thing for sure. I mean, not necessarily lonely, but they are by themselves. I feel like introversion and like spending time with yourself and also like self-care and that stuff is very inspiring to me, and it's something that I enjoy a lot, and I kind of want to convey that in my art. But also, yeah, I get inspired by colors a lot, and just by like a lot of experiences give me this creative energy that I kind of then use to draw something, not necessarily related to those experiences, but just, yeah. But also, like other artists and illustrators, their work definitely inspires me a lot. Your fashion style and your favorite clothing items. I'm not sure what what I can say about my fashion style. I feel like it's something that changes a lot. Like I feel like I've gone through quite a few different kind of phases of style. I definitely enjoy expressing myself through my clothes. Lately I've been really into primary colors, as with art, and like colorful clothes. Before that I had like a few years of mostly wearing like black and maybe like some earth tones or like some, you know, but not really like primary colors. But now it's been all about the colors, and I feel like I wear a lot of pretty simple and relaxed clothes, but then maybe with some fun patterns or something. But shape-wise, I really prefer like loose, boxy fits and like just comfy clothes. And my favorite clothes or pieces of clothing, I would say boxy shirts and like wide culottes or like wide comfy pants and socks with sandals lately. I've been obsessed with that. Your favorite food? Oh my god, I can't choose. I love food. I love cooking and I love eating food. I'm a vegan and I feel like that has just like gotten me even more into food. Maybe like a noodle soup. Something like fresh but still like really, really flavorful and yummy. So maybe a noodle soup. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it.